Alright, first things first with the windmill. We gotta have down is a good hang glide. My recommended time for being able to hold a hang glide is about around 30 seconds. I don't know, I call that the golden time, 30 seconds. Now, before you begin, with the hang glide, you need to know where to stab. Stabbing is probably one of the most fundamental moves in b-boying. First of all, if you were to lift up your shirt and look at your belly button area or your navel, depending on which way you prefer or which hand is more dominant, if you go clockwise, stab with your right hand. Go counterclockwise, stab with your left hand. Now, to find a golden spot on where to stab at, go from your belly button to the left or to the right, depending on which hand you use. For example, I use my right hand, so from the belly button, I go to the right, bam, stabbing, executed. We're counterclockwise, from the belly button to the left, bam. Now, maybe you're wondering, well, I can't do this one-handed, so that's the thing. That's why you have an extra hand. Now the trick here is, go for stabbing, extra hand, support. Now let me demonstrate this for you in real time. So you place your elbow in your area, place it firmly down on the ground. Your center mass should be located all on your wrist. Supporting hand to the side. Now keep this in mind. Supporting hand, not too far, not too close. Just in a proximity that is close enough for you. Now the trick here is to put all of your weight forward and onto your stabbing hand like so. Just lean forward. There's not much to it, but this is the hang glide. Supporting hand here, stabbing hand inside. That's a hang glide. If you want a more in-depth tutorial, look at the description below. Now that you got the stabbing down, the next trick here is to learn to collapse. If you don't learn to collapse, you'll break your arms doing the windmill. Alright, so pretty much all the collapse is stabbing and then pushing yourself backwards until your hand is bent to its maximum potential. Let me demonstrate this for you. Hang glide. Well, for this demonstration, for learning to collapse, you don't need to do an actual hang glide. That's for actual practice later. All you have to do is, let me get to a better position. Okay, so, hang glide, well, in this case my feet's down, then you basically just push yourself away from the floor so that you're on the floor now. When I'm doing the collapse, I'm pushing until I cannot bend my arm any further. Watch, like this. You should be able to be pushing yourself backwards. You shouldn't be in place, you shouldn't be falling down, or anything. Now, in a more realistic example, you'd be in the hang glide when you're doing this. So this is what it should look like. Hang glide, and then collapse. Now, falling down on yourself like that may look like it hurts, but actually doesn't. And the thing is, you don't want to fall down. That's going to hurt yourself. So, demonstrating this one more time. Hang glide, and push yourself backwards. That's a collapse. Alright, so now that you got the collapse down, you need to get the actual motion of the collapse down. What I demonstrated earlier was just the motion of the collapse of going down. Now for a windmill, the collapse is fairly different. See, for a windmill, when you collapse, you're not just pushing onto your stomach, you're actually kind of turning like this and collapsing at the same time. So basically, the general motion of your hand is collapse, but also twist it. So twist and collapse. The idea behind this is that for a windmill, you're not going on your chest or your stomach. You're actually going on your right or left shoulder, depending on where you stab at. For example, when you're stabbing, it should correspond with your shoulder. So right-handed stab, right shoulder. Left-handed stab, left shoulder. Now watch as I demonstrate the windmill collapse. That's what I'll call it for this tutorial. Now, as you can see, for a collapse, you push like this. And as I mentioned earlier, for the windmill collapse, you twist and collapse. This is what it should look like when you twist and collapse. So let me get into handglide position. Basically, you shouldn't be thinking about the twisting part. What you want to do is not push yourself face first into the floor like this, but push yourself away onto your shoulder. And it may be hard to get at first, but just keep trying to do that. But this is not that important. This is just an extra, so to speak. So one more demonstration of this windmill collapse. So hand glide, collapse and twist. Now, I advise you to attempt this part when you actually have the spinning and the kicking of the windmill down. That will be covered in the next part. Okay, so for a windmill, you need to generate momentum because you use centripetal force to make yourself continue spinning. Now, you have the collapse, which is this. What you need now is something to make you spin. To make yourself spin, it's very simple. All you have to do is take your hand and just push yourself in a circle. Now, the trick here is not to just push like that. What you want to do is grab the floor firmly and kind of pull yourself along it. The motion is generally like this, as if you're petting the floor, but your hand doesn't move. So, firmly on the floor with your supporting hand, hang glide, and then grab the floor and push away from it, or pet it. That's pretty much all it takes for the spin. Let me demonstrate one more time from a different angle. Hang glide, grab, and push. That's all it is. Now that you have that down, you want to combine your collapse and your other little pushy thingy together. For a beginner's step at this, what you should do is hang glide, spin, and once you can't spin anymore, collapse. But the thing is, when you actually do it, do not have that pause in between the spin and the collapse. It should be all one fluid motion, as shown here. Watch. Spin and collapse. Spin and collapse. When you spin and collapse, it should automatically push you onto your back. Well, that's what you want to do. So, watch again. I'm going to spin and then collapse. Now, not all of you may get on your back, but that's only if you use the windmill collapse. If you use the normal collapse, what should happen is that you spin and then you fall down like this. That's fine. Once you have all two of those combined, it should be one fluid motion. You don't even have to think about it. It should be second nature. After doing a spin and then collapse, there is something before all of this. This is the initial kick. The initial kick is probably the most important part of your windmill. Not only does it give you the most amount of momentum, but it initializes your windmill. Now, most beginners tend to have trouble with the initial kick, which leads to various problems with their windmill. What you want to keep in mind is that when you are kicking, you do not kick high like this. That is too high. What you want to do is kick down as if you're about to drop kick something on the floor, such as this low. Now that's an over-exaggeration, but generally what you should be getting at is that your legs sweep down, then it shoots back up. The up part I will cover later, but for now we should focus on going down. When you're doing the initial kick, all of the momentum is in your legs and your hips. Here's a drill that you can practice to get a feel for this kick. What you want to do is hang glide with your head down, not up this time, and just swing your legs back and forth, back and forth. Pretend to get an idea of what you're supposed to do. Pretend that you're about to kick and go into a baby freeze. Watch. So I'm going to put my head down, hand glide, and I'm going to lift my legs up and kick into a baby freeze. Now, you won't actually do that in a real. Okay, so what you want to do is combine initial kick, spin, and collapse. This is probably the most trickiest part next to the restab. Okay, so first, I'll do it step by step. Spin. And then the collapse and kick are basically twins. They happen at the same time. What you want to do is, when you're collapsing, right before you hit the floor, you should kick. This might be tricky, but the best help I can provide you here now is you just have to watch me do it. Watch. I'll do it step by step. Spin. Collapse and kick. What you want to do is try to kick down, and when you get on your back, kick up. That's where that second half is at. The hardest part here is getting on your shoulder. So you want to clap, but turn over onto your shoulder, like the windmill collapse. Now here is probably my slowest version of all of these steps combined into one. Now from a back angle, this will provide you better look at this kick. So I like to cock back like this before I start, and then spin, kick and collapse. Here is a faster version, or maybe a slow-mo. So I'm going to spin, collapse, kick. If you do this part properly, you should be able to go into a backspin. As long as you have a backspin, then you're going to have at least half of the windmill down. Here is a demonstration of kick, collapse, spin, backspin, all of that put into one.